Hey, so we're going to do the beta reading questions that I do with pretty much all the books that I finish, just so that I know where to even start editing. I don't love editing, so having an idea of where to begin, definitely helpful. So what I'm going to do is go over here, do chat with scene. We're in Novel Crafter. This is the fantasy novel. Because we're doing all of this video series in Sonnet 3.5, I'm going to go ahead and select Sonnet 3.5. I am changing the context, the full novel context. I also want you to see how much that costs, given how expensive 3.5 is. So with this, and then we're at 307. Yep, still 307. Excellent. And then, of course, it's going to go on the new blog, too. So, strengths and weaknesses of this novel. We'll start there. Strengths are nice to know just because, it's good to know what went well. Weaknesses, though, are where we're going to find out exactly what we need to focus on. I am keeping this separate because over here was more of the world building and the outlining. This was all the prose right here. And then this is going to be the beta rating stuff. So the good stuff, there's some good world building, good character development. It's high stakes, which is nice. Yeah. And then some emotional depth. Weaknesses, it's a little complex. We got some pacing issues. Every single AI is going to pull out pacing issues. No matter what you're doing, it's generally going to mention pacing issues. Okay, yep. The characters lose a little of their individuality. That is something that we should pay attention to. Okay, it's exposition heavy at some points. This I'm going to ask about directly. This is not something that we're going to worry about because it is having a bittersweet ending. We can address this in a sequel. Alright, but because that is something that we want to address. As long as it's not something that we want to save for a sequel. Yep, exactly. Exactly. Okay. Okay, so that is something that we would address. Also a good point. That could be handled in a sequel. Definitely could handle in a sequel. No. I was going to ask if there's any overused words or phrases, but I find that it works better with a list. So, okay. So these may be things that you can look out for. Is the Shadowmancer Council isn't something that I'm going to really worry about, but sacrifice for all realities, if that pops up a lot, we may need to reword that. Just like reforging the cosmic balance. And so let's get this too. Alright, so with this list and this list, well, this list and this list, you can take a look and see what maybe needs to be reworked. The weakest character. This will tell you if there's anything that we need to work on. Such as backstory, such as fleshing them out. And this has been mentioned before, that the Amber-Eyed Man needs some more work. So since it's been mentioned before, it's probably best to give them a full bad guy, and not just like a mini bad guy. Yeah. Essentially, don't just give them a bad guy to have a bad guy. Have a bad guy with motivations. So that you can actually see what's going on. Okay. Just like in asking for weaknesses, this will just give us more insight. And yes, it's mentioning multiple rounds of editing. It's going to need multiple rounds of editing. Everything does. Yes. The pacing, the character voice consistency. Definitely hinting at repetition. See, it gave us a pretty clean novel, but it still needs edits. Alright, so there's plenty to look at there. Let's get some. Nope. Please provide 3 blurbs. Just going to read through these very quickly. Perfect. Here's a few here. It's actually really pretty. I thought I just heard thunder, but we're not supposed to get anything today. There's nothing. Okay. Let me take a look. Okay. Makes sense. And of course, we would double check this against the genre to make sure that our book is in line with the genre and the cover expectations there, but that would actually be really pretty. So super helpful all the way around. I'm going to ask you 2 more questions. Notice I didn't ask if the first chapter is a strong chapter. I asked how could it be stronger. Because if we just ask if it's a strong chapter, yes, it's strong, but is it as good as it could be? Probably not. But that's why we edit. Last question. Okay, let's take a look. One more question. All right then. Nice long list. All right, very good. Very good. Oh, don't worry. I would make absolutely huge changes. So now that we have all of that information, let's take a look at what each response costs. So, as typical, Sonnet is coming back about 24 cents. Haiku I did this morning. So this is all right now. So 307 down to negative 14 cents. So I definitely need to top off. So keep that in mind. The beta rating took up about $3. So total with all of the book, all of the world building, all the prose, about $16, $16.50. So not terrible at all. And then you just need to go write it. Or I mean, go edit it, which will take a lot of rewriting and edits and things like that. Which is kind of a pain, but and if you like the book, you like the book. And then you go and you edit it and you make it into something really polished and beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. I will get this information put into the blog and then this video will go up. Thank you.